evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. Today, we're going to be doing the Ritual Beast deck profile. I really hope you guys enjoy this. The real schedule will be starting next week because it's kind of hard to do a discussion video with, only a day's notice. And I hope you guys enjoy it since you guys have been wanting this deck profile. So let's get started, shall we? I'm going to be running 3 copies of Ritual Beast Tamer. Essentially, he's the best Ritual Beast monster in your graveyard. You want to be able to normal summon him so you can normal summon a Ritual Beast monster and then, just go off for a whole bunch of wacky combos. 3 copies of Ritual Beast Tamer win. Essentially, I feel that she is one of the second best. Especially you banish her with Counterhawk and you can abuse your banishments with her. Just being able to special summon since this deck is very based on banishment. And then the least best, but she's not bad at all, is 2 copies of Ritual Beast Laura. Now, Laura allows you to special summon Ritual Beast monsters from your graveyard. There's a couple of other combos that I would like to point out that you can abuse with Laura, and she's not that bad of a card. I just prefer 2 of her because a lot of our stuff that we want to get to the field is particularly banished or in our hand. Now, for Spiritual Beast monsters, we're going to be running 3 copies of Counterhawk. Counterhawk is the best Spiritual Beast monster in the deck, period. Its effect is simply a gold sark, and we like to abuse it so much. It's our reinforcement of the army of the deck. It is just so good. It's really good. Next is 3 copies of Spiritual Beast Rampengu. Now, I don't like necessarily 3 copies of Spiritual Beast Rampengu, but here's the reason. I want to open Spiritual Beast Rampengu and Ritual Beast Tamer in my hand, or I want to open Ritual Beast Tamer Elder and Spiritual Beast Counterhawk in my hand. Mid to late game, you probably won't activate its effect, but its stats are not bad. 1600 attack is really not much to scuff at, and it's just a pretty decent effect, especially if you get it off in your opening turns. Another one would be Spiritual Beast Apelio. I really love him. If I could play 3 and find a way to just manipulate his effects so much, he's pretty bad in the early game. If you don't have any Spiritual Beast or Ritual Beast cards that in your graveyard or whatever, keep in mind, I'm calling them all Spiritual Beast and Ritual Beast. It does not matter. They're all considered Ritual Beast. So when a card does say Ritual Beast, you can grab these Spiritual Beast monsters and stuff as well and just do whatever. Apello is just really good banishing any of your Ritual Beast cards, and then it gives 500 attack. Keep in mind, you can use it on your opponent's turn as well as your turn. Sometimes I use it just to get certain cards banished. Other times I use it to beef up my monsters and make them really strong. You keep abusing this card, he can be really dangerous. 1 copy of the Pink Dolphin. I really wish the Pink Dolphin had a better effect, but then again, I'm actually pretty good with the Pink Dolphin's effect. Being able to banish a Ritual Beast card in your hand and then just be able to target cards your opponent's controls and then bounce them to the hand, I think that's really good. I just don't like the banishment from your hand, but ultimately, it's still a pretty good effect. Instead of Tempest, I actually prefer Garuda the Wind Spirit. Garuda the Wind Spirit has grown on to me. It is just so amazing. A level 4 monster that allows us to still banish wind monsters to our graveyard, that gives us access to Lightning Chidori. Now, don't get me wrong, Tempest is a really good card, but Lightning Chidori actually has more synergy with the deck, in my opinion, because I can abuse it with those rank 4, I can abuse it to make rank 4 plays. That, and a lot of people do look over it and, just continue to attack, and then you go in phase, switch that monster to defense, and that kind of solves, your monster problem for that turn or whatever. Garuda is just really good, and, it requires little to less setup. Granted, he is 800 points weaker, and I would run Tempest, but I just like this build so far. So if you guys were to run Tempest, I really like this combo, being able to run Debris Dragon with the Tempest as well. This is a really fun combo that I kind of thought of on the spot. Is, let's say Tempest is in your graveyard, you don't really want to banish 2. Use Garuda to banish the Tempest. Tempest is going to add you Debris Dragon, and then you can normal summon your Debris Dragon to bring out the Dolphin, and guess what? You have a Spiritual Beast monster, and you have a rank 4 play right there. Then if you activate Emergency Teleport, oh god, it's just too many plays after that. That is just really, really good. It would probably require you to run probably an extra copy of Ulti Dolphin, and then the Spiritual Beast Lara does come into play because, you can actually start going to graveyard manipulation. It also makes Rampengu live because, you can run 2 copies of the Fusion Pink Dolphin, which allow you to send her. So ultimately, really, really good. I do like that, but I'm just not running it. I wanted more consistency, and Tempest is a good card, don't get me wrong, but I just did not like the banish 2 cost and no synergy with the deck whatsoever. Next, for the spell cards, 3 copies of Typhoon. Clifford is the deck's worst matchup. Why not play it? 3 copies of Emergency Teleport. I've seen a lot of players wearing 2, which is perfectly fine. But the thing that I wanted to stress on this deck is complete synergy, being able to get to my combos as fast as possible. More often than not, you draw one of your spiritual beast monsters. You can summon them. Hopefully it's, Kanahawk or Rimpengu. Use their effect, and then you can emergency teleport any of your ritual beast tamer monsters to the field. That gives you an instant access to any of your ritual beast ulti monsters. I just think that's just too good to give up. Emergency teleport does have its drawbacks, meaning that if you special summon any of your ritual beast tamers, you won't be able to special summon them again. But the later the game goes and the more ritual beast monsters you have in your deck, the better emergency teleport does get. Granted, also you can't use the effects of your ritual beast tamer monsters, but hey, you're not going to probably use their effects anytime because Effect Veiler and Fiendish Chains are starting to become cards. Next for spells is Book of Moon, DeFi, Ritual Beast's Bond, Raigeki, and Gold Sark. That I feel like those are just pretty standard. To be honest with you guys, I'm not a big fan of Dimensional Fissure, but it hurts so many decks out there. It doesn't necessarily advance our game state to a point where it's like, oh my god, it's amazing, but it hurts so many opposing decks out there so well that I feel it's kind of ignorant not to main deck it. Other copies of spell cards that I would run is the Foolish Burial if I was running the Tempest route, and it saved my ass. So I have to try a second one if I were. Ritual Beast Bond. At first I used to think this card was bad, and then I realized that hey, I can use 2 of my spiritual beast monsters, I can use 2 of my tamers, and I can make, ritual beast fusion monster to the side of the field. Also, at that same note, I can use it to help OTK my opponent if, I'm playing against a deck that doesn't run traps or, some type of OTK deck. So I'll use that to OTK them first. So that's 2 cards to consider if you guys are running the Tempest route or whatever. I think that it was pretty decent to play. I just wanted to go with consistency more often than anything. Next for traps is 3 copies of Ritual Beast Steeds, the best trap card in the deck. Ultimately, keep in mind that it reads your Ritual Beast, Spiritual Beast monsters at the resolution of its effects. So, for example, if I have Ulti Apello on my side of the field, my opponent summons 2 monsters, blah, blah, blah. I activate Ritual Beast Steeds. If my opponent does not have a response, I chain Ulti Apello. Ulti Apello goes back to the deck, special summons both of my Ritual Beast monsters, and then Ritual Beast Steeds resolves, destroying up to 2 monsters on the field. That's just really good to keep in mind. You don't want to show your opponent what you're doing until it's over, until they can't really stop it. Next would be 2 copies of Ritual Beast Ambush. I really love this card. I just hate drawing it in beginning game. Or actually, drawing it in the beginning game isn't that bad, but drawing it when you can't make a fusion is pretty bad because you won't have the necessary targets. Ambush is just a really good card. If you guys don't know what to do, I suggest you look it up because that effect is just really good. And then 1 copy of Torrential. Now, these trap cards, I'm not really sold on them. I will be trying out other trap cards for it because I'm not just too great on them. But those trap cards are Compulse, Solemn, Macro, and Bottomless. The only reason why Macro is in this thing is the same reason for DeFi. Only reason why I'm running Macro is because it hurts so many decks. Same reason why I'm running DeFi. So it's like, whatever. But I'd more than likely keep the Macro, drop the Compulse to Solemn and the Bottomless. And here would be some cards that I would strongly suggest you guys to consider if you guys don't already have cards that you would want to play yourself. The Save Zone. And there's a pretty big problem that I found out when playing Ritual Beast. Sometimes you will get to a part where you have maybe 2 Ritual Beast ulti monsters on the field, and then your opponent goes Raigeki or Dark Hole. Well, you have 2 options. You can activate your ulti's effects to banish them, to keep them protected, and then lose all of your banished, Ritual Beast monsters, or you can let them go to the graveyard and hope to God that you didn't go through all of your Ritual Beast ulti monsters. So yeah, I really wish that there was a better trap card that said, this turn, your monsters can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. That would have been amazing for this deck, but there isn't as of right now. So Safe Zone was the next best option. Next, I would probably try 2 Mirror Force and the another Ritual Beast Ambush. Mirror Force is amazing this format. I don't know why people don't run this, especially if you're running cards like DeFi and Macro in your deck. Mirror Force is just like, a lot of people fall for it. They don't see it coming because Mirror Force is just that type of card. And then the last card, since Effect Negation is coming back, stopping your opponent's Necros monsters is really good. I'd run 3 copies of Fiendish Chain. So those are the cards that I definitely would be considering, as opposed to the, the Solemn Bottom Boundless, whatever. They're pretty selfish cards. They don't hit much, and Compulse isn't that just great of a card against, you know, Clifford or Necros. That's just about the monster lineup, or I'm sorry, the deck lineup. I believe it's 19 monsters, 11 spells, 10 traps, and that's really about it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other combos that you guys have thought of. I mean, just go ahead and drop them down in the comments box. I mean, it doesn't help, or it doesn't hurt to help. And I'm really open to playing anything. I just really love this deck. This is my baby. This is like, you know, Shadows all over again to me. On to the extra deck. And I'm not going to show you guys the side deck because, I mean, there's no reason. To be honest with you guys got to side whatever you want to against X amount of decks or whatever, depends on your locals. Pretty sure you guys aren't going to see the same locals as mine, especially since my locals doesn't even consist of tier 1 decks all the time, like Necros and stuff. So for the extra, we run 3 copies of Ulti Apello. Pretty standard. He's your go-to guy. Keep in mind that if Ulti Apello is on your side of the field, you can pump him up or you can decrease his attack all you want. But once he enters battles and attack, he goes back to 2600. Case in point, I was playing on DevPro and it was the video I uploaded against Necros. I made him strong enough to beat over the decisive armor, and then I attacked and he went down to 26. So he's unaffected by cards once he attacks. I mean, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. The bad thing is that you can't Ulti Apello him, or you can't Apello him and make him stronger. The good thing is if your opponent does decrease his attack, you just attack till it goes back to 26. 3 copies of Cannahawk. To be honest with you, you'll rarely use all 3 of your Cannahawk and all 3 of your Apello, but that's when Rampengu comes in. He's like, hey, I'm going to use your stuff to give you extra banishment and fodder, and 1 pink dolphin. And I would strongly consider a second one if I was running that combo that I was talking about earlier. That's going to be it for fusions. Now for Exceeds, Down Syndrome, Castell, Excisionite, Chidori, MVP. I've actually made him a couple times. Daiguster Emerald, another card that when I was actually playtesting, this was on Arc, and I've noticed that I do go through a chunk of my cards, and if somebody does Raigeki me and I don't have an answer, Daiguster Emerald is just like that good. The Down Syndrome Magician is, for the Totem Bird that I'm running, the Herald and the Slacker Magician, you just overlay it on top of it. Totem Bird, I feel, is a really underrated card. If you can make these cards, which, you probably want to do sparingly because it requires 2 of your Tamers. But if you can make Totem Bird against Necros, it could hurt if you do it at the right point in time. And that is it for the main board and the extra deck. Now it's time to show you guys a couple of combos. All right, guys, combos. I'm going to start off with just the most simplest combo in the deck. We're going to start off with Tamer and Cannahawk. So basically, you would normal summon Tamer. Tamer effect, you get your second normal summon for Cannahawk. Cannahawk effect, we're going to banish. I'm going to banish Alara. And then I'm going to banish again. 2 special summon from my extra deck. Oops, wrong one. Just going to special summon Cannahawk. I'm going to special summon Ulti Apello. Now I'm going to banish my Ulti Apello back into my extra deck. I'm going to send him back to my extra deck. 2 special summon Tamer and Cannahawk. I'm going to use Cannahawk effect again. And with that, we will get rid of the Penguin. Next, we'll banish again. And this time, I'm going to put these like kind of crooked because I know we can't special summon these again. But this time, we'll special summon Cannahawk again. So Cannahawk's effect will target either one of these. It really doesn't matter. Sometimes I target, kind of really doesn't matter, but I'll target Elder this time. And I will target Rampengu. Then I'll chain his effect, and I'll target my Rampengu and my Laura to special summon again. So he returns back to the deck. They get special summoned, and I get to search. Also, Elder goes to graveyard because, that's how you get the monsters. That's how you get the cards effect again. With that, I'll get Steeds. You can set the Steeds, and then you can go into the, you can activate Rampengu's effect. That actually makes sense. And we'll banish the Cannahawk. Actually, I'm sorry, we won't banish the Cannahawk. We'll banish the Ulti Apello again. And with Ulti Apello, we will send, guess what? Apello. Sweet. And then we'll go right back in to a Cannahawk. Cannahawk effect will target the Apello and the Rampengu. I've already special summoned Rampengu. Yeah, we'll target those 2. And then with that, we'll add Ambush. So basically, I have 4 cards in graveyard. This is good Tempest food, good Garuda food. And I also have Steeds and Ambush on my side of the field, all from a 2-card combo. On my opponent's turn, I can go, you know, whatever they do, blah, blah, blah. I'll go Steeds, and then I'll chain Kanahawk, I'll banish, and then I'll special summon these 2 guys again, and then I'll destroy. And then I can also, on their end phase, go, you know, Ambush and special summon these 2 guys again on their end phase, and they're not really in for a good time, especially since I've only used 2 cards to do this whole combo. That's one of the combos. Another one of the Ritual Beast monsters requires a little more setup, but its combos are more rewarding depending on the type of card you have. For example, I'm going to have Ritual Beast Laura banished, and the 3 cards starting in my hand will be Elder, Renpengu, and Garuda. So first I'm going to normal summon Elder. I'm going to activate Elder's effect to normal summon Renpengu. Then I'm going to use Renpengu's effect. And that will send... My apologies. I'll banish Kanahawk to send Kanahawk to graveyard. And where is that Kanahawk? So that will be in my graveyard. And next, I'll go ahead and fusion summon for Ulti Kanahawk. Ulti Kanahawk's effect, I'll target the Ritual Beast monster, and then I'll also target the Renpengu. Then I'll chain Kanahawk's effect again to special summon the Elder and special summon the Renpengu. This will go to graveyard, and thus allow me to add Ritual Beast Steeds to my hand. I'll activate Renpengu's effect again, and this time I will banish Ritual Beast Ulti Apello to send the Lion to the graveyard. I don't know why I didn't have this all out like sooner, but it's whatever. Where is that Lion? Oh, here it is. To send the Lion to the graveyard. Then I'm going to go into Ulti Apello again. And here's where people would stop at the combo, but not the Kali effect. See, we're going to activate Garuda's effect, and we're going to banish the Kanahawk to special summon the Garuda. Next, we'll activate Ulti Kanahawk's effect. We're going to target the Apelio and the Kanahawk. Then we'll chain his effect to bring back the Kanahawk himself and Lara this time. You'll activate Kanahawk's effect to banish a different Ritual Beast monster, which will probably be Win. And then you'll add Ambush to your hand. Next, you'll do it again. You'll banish both of them. And you can either stop right here, or we'll say, for example, I have another Garuda. We'll special summon Kanahawk again. Kanahawk's effect is now... Or actually, I'm not going to activate Kanahawk's effect. My apologies. I'm going to summon my second Garuda by banishing my Apelio. And now right here, I can even make Lightning Chidori. I can make Diagusto Emerald, because I will have enough targets once I finish resolving my Kanahawk's effect. I can make Castell. If I'm still down by a lot of cards, I can still make a Sidon. But we're just going to continue with the Kanahawk play. We're going to banish the Apello, or we're going to target the Apello. And really, it doesn't even matter. We'll target Laura, I guess. And we'll send them both to the graveyard. Then we'll chain its effect. We'll special summon Win. Oh, my apologies. And Apello. No, my apologies. Apello will come back to the field. Then we can activate Apello to banish again with the effect of that. Hey, we can get Ritual Beast Bond. And like I said, there's still so many more combos. I can still go ahead and fusion back into anything. More than likely it'll be back into what's his face, into Ulti Apello. And I have basically 2 Garuda the Wind Spirits I can Exceed into. I have Apelli on the field. I have Ritual Beast Bond, which I probably wouldn't grab. I'd probably grab a copy of Win. I have 2 Steeds and an Ambush. Like, that really sets up your plays. And even if you had Tempest or any type of banishment cards, it really sets up so many good plays with there. And that was just like a little 3-card combo. Not really hard for this deck to pull off, because it was so easy to get those cards to your hand. All you have to do is keep on abusing Kanahawk over and over again. If you guys wanted to, you could have banished the Kanahawk beforehand for the summon of Garuda, and then use Kanahawk again to gain an extra card. There's just so many combos. The last combo I think I'm going to mention is the Tempest combo. I really love this combo. I just wish I could play it. It requires Tempest in graveyard, Garuda in hand, and Ritual Beast or Spiritual Beast Dolphin in the graveyard. So basically, you'd banish the Tempest to special summon Garuda. Tempest effect would add you. Where is that Debris Dragon? You'd add Debris Dragon. You summon Debris Dragon. You can special summon the Dolphin. And then, furthermore, if you do have emergency teleport on your side of the field, or I'm sorry, in your hand, then, I mean, come on, the combos just get so much worse. This deck is a very combo essential deck. I really want to stress the first combo. That is the biggest combo for the deck. There are so many other hidden combos in there, and it really depends on how you built the deck. But ultimately, those are just some really fun combos I like to stress on the deck just because it's so good, especially if you play smart and you know how to play the deck. But ultimately, thank you guys for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.